My old RSM, Regimental Sergeant Major, the most senior enlisted soldier of any regiment, he once said to me, "Corporal Parry," he says, "inside every person you know is someone you don't." And he was absolutely right. He was spot on. He has been proven correct with my experiences in adult life. I talked about treachery the other day. But Shemima Begum isn't who the mainstream media, the legacy left-wing woke legacy media and her lefty lawyers are portraying. I don't believe so. Now, if you don't know who she is, then you're living under a rock, or you're sensible and you don't look at the news. Because the mainstream media lies, doesn't it? She was a 15-year-old girl at the time, and she ran off with her mate to join one of the most notorious terrorist organisations ever in history, ISIS. I don't know why politicians call them ISIL when everyone else called them ISIS. It's like when I was in Kenya on exercise with the British Army, my regiment. Everyone else, including the natives, pronounced it as Kenya. But no, the idiotic Ruperts, the officers, they insisted on calling it Kenya. It annoyed the fuck out of me. It really did. And everyone else, including the natives. Can I call them that? Locals? You know what I'm talking about. But Shemima Begum, she ran off to join ISIS, had a baby or two with one of them. He got killed in action, terrorising someone, I guess. And now she wants to come back. And this has been going on for a number of years. Now, the Tory government, I call them Tories, they're not really Tories, are they? They're socialists wearing blue ties to pretend they're Tories. They put a stop to this, and then she appealed. And the other day, her appeal was turned down, and rightly so. This is one of the few things that the government, I think, has got right. The government's job, primarily, and I know they've forgotten this, is to protect the British people. That's what we're voting them in for, and that's what we're paying them taxes for. Now, saying that, they're fighting tooth and nail legally to stop Shemima Begum from coming over to the UK and regaining her British citizenship, but they're doing nothing about thousands of young fighting-aged adult men, fit men, from crossing over undocumented without any ID or anything. We've seen videos of them chucking their IDs in the channel, and they're bending over backwards to house them and give them free money, free stuff, everything that Shemima Begum wants. But they're stopping her and giving everything to them. What gives? I think there's a bit of a paradox there, don't you think? I do. Anyway. But what's the difference between Shemima Begum and Greta Thunberg? And this is where the left-waffers hypocrisy comes into play. Now, they support both, but their argument is that Shemima Begum didn't know what she was doing at that age. She was immature, she was influenced, she was seduced, and she had no idea. But Greta Thunberg, or as she pronounces it, Greta Thunbo, it's weird, isn't it? She is the fountain of all youth at that age and younger. Everything she says is wisdom and truth. The golden goose. She can say no wrong. She is wise beyond her years. Everything she says about so-called climate change is the truth. She is a climate alarmist. And this is what they do, folks. They lie. There's a massive lie for their own agenda, but that's another video for another day. So Shemima Begum goes over to ISIS and she partakes in some of the most despicable acts ever. She goes along with it. She was a member of the notorious female Sharia police, who basically went round and terrorised other ISIS wives and the wives of the people they illegally conquer into being Sharia compliant. Make sure they're covered up, they don't listen to music, don't dance, don't wear brightly coloured stuff, basically enjoy themselves and be human. They make sure that doesn't happen, and if they do, the punishment is ridiculously harsh. She pointed an AK-47 rifle at a woman for wearing red shoes. She watched beheadings and saw bins full of severed human heads, and in her words, didn't flinch her at all. She also sewed in suicide bombers into their vests. Now, is this the sort of person we want living amongst us here in the UK? Of course not. Absolutely not. For those reasons alone. Like I said earlier, inside every person you know is someone you don't. And the person we don't know inside Shemima Begum is horrible. She could be a sleeper cell. She could be over here, she's had her British citizenship back, next thing you know, years down the line, she's in her council house enjoying her benefits. There's a phone call. Yes? Right, go and pick up a bomb and take it to an arena. There's a concert there. You can't take that chance. No one can take that chance. A government can't take that chance. And yet here we are, an appeal. And it's not going to end here. She's going to appeal again. She said so. And again, and again, and again. And I think she's going to win in the end. Because the governments are going to just give up. Because it's costing money. It's the British taxpayers paying for this, by the way. It's you and I. We work in our jobs, we pay our taxes, and it's going on this, some of it. So who's going to pay for these appeals then? When the British, or if the British government are adamant that she's not going to come over? The British taxpayer, likely. Gary Lineker, I wouldn't put it past him. Anything for a chance to make himself look good, virtue signal in front of the woke mob. That's what they like. It's virtue signalling. Look, I'm so woke, I took in a migrant in my house. Here's the letter he wrote. Aren't I so virtuous? That's what it's all about. It's not about kindness or anything. It's to elevate his own standing with the wrong people, if you ask me. And have you seen her tent in that camp in Syria, that refugee camp in Syria she's in? Compared to the others, it's luxury. It's full of comfy stuff. Her tent isn't dirty. It's full of paraphernalia with Union flags on it to make it look patriotic. Now, apparently, a mainstream media company, organisation paid for that. And that was on Twitter years ago. Just to help her out, you know, to help her case. And it wouldn't surprise me. After all, the legacy media, the mainstream media, they're not on our side, they're on theirs. They're all on their side, the wrong uns. Speaking of wrong uns, Sadiq Khan. He has, well, right-wing MP Lee Anderson came out on a radio show, I think, or a podcast, and said Sadiq Khan has surrendered London to his mates. And the left are cock-a-hoop of this. Hope, not hate. If you don't know who they are, look them up. Highly influential organisation. And if you're with a hint of right-wingness in you, and you're kind of popular on social media, they'll come for you, they'll ruin your life. They'll get you sacked, cast out from society. They have power and they're funded, by the way. I believe they're funded by the government as well, I think, government grants. Look that up, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure they are. They've written a letter saying, sack him, take the whip off him, he is a right-wing racist, and all the other usual tropes. Now, where the hell was hope, not hate, when pro-Hamas terrorists, free plasticine people were marching through London calling for the eradication of Jews from Israel, singing from the river to the sea, which means the eradication of Israel between the river something and the sea. Where were they? Nowhere to be seen. Hope, not hate. Oh no, that's okay, that's fine. It's a lefty cause, isn't it? We'll turn a blind eye to that one. Not a single letter written, protest shouted, or fucks given by Hope, not hate over this. And you know why? Because they're all together, aren't they? All these extremist left-wing groups. They're all together. They're all together in it for the eradication of our way of life here in the West, how we do things. Freedom, liberty, democracy. They don't like that. They hate it. And that's why they do what they do. But I think Lee Anderson was correct. After all, Sadiq Khan did say 20 odd years ago, he called the moderate Muslims, and I quote, Uncle Toms. That should tell you everything about Sadiq Khan. A nasty, narcissistic individual who is way above his station and shouldn't be where he is, and has caused utter carnage in London because of that. Thanks to the many millions of votes from Tower Hamlets in London. And that's the way it is, folks, at the moment, until things change. And I hope things change, I really do. We need right-wing politicians in government. The West is run by hopeless lefties. Trudeau in Canada, creepy Joe Biden in the United States. Who's that manlet in France? Him. Sadiq Khan in London. Taoiseach, him, Varadkar in Ireland. And the unelected twerp up in Scotland, Germany, everywhere. And there's even that female in Italy, if she's still there. I mean, they got a new prime minister every week, haven't they, in Italy? She told everyone she was a right-wing, anti-EU. She'll stop the boats, and she did a complete 180. Is it 180 or 360? 360 is the same way, isn't it? No, yeah, 180. She did a complete 180 and reversed everything, and she's pro-immigrant, and she hasn't stopped the boats, and it's worse. And that's the West today, sadly, until something can be done and there's changes. And that's sad, isn't it? It really is. I'm just walking back and forth here, because everywhere I walk there's like someone with a dog. I'm not scared of dogs. Someone said to me the other day on here, Paz, he said, you should take a dog for a walk. Well, we have got a dog, or the mother-in-law has a dog, but it takes 3 people to walk him because he's mental. He really is mental. He's not right in the head. He can be quite dangerous as well, and he needs to be restrained. He's not an XL, he's a fellhound. But he was adopted by the mother-in-law, and he loves her to bits. He really does. We're just glad we were there when she brought him home, because anyone who wasn't in the house when she brought him over, he hates with a passion. I wouldn't want to be a burglar that sneaks into their house one evening and he's there. I really wouldn't. He's huge and he can be quite nasty. He's got a nasty growl on him. He really does. But that's why I don't take the dog with me. We need 3 of us. And I'm a big, strong guy. But my days of restraining wild animals are well over. Anyway, that's that. I hope you've enjoyed this walkie-talkie with me. I even got my Wellington boots. That's not my fat belly, I've got stuff in here. I did say I'm pleasantly plump. Had to buy these from B&Q this morning, 20 quid, because Mrs. 49 has mislaid my expensive ones with the buckles on them. And yes, she did blame me, by the way. I told her she would. Anyway, I digress. Hope you have a great weekend. If you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button. Share my stuff everywhere. It helps with the algorithm. Give it a like. Tell your mates. Tell your girlfriend, boyfriend, mum, dad, son, daughter. Tell everyone about me. To get my word out there. And if you don't, then do it yourself. It's not hard. It's free. Just do it. Do what I do. Selfie stick, camera, talk. Whack it on YouTube. Why not? Innit? It's your right. It's your God-given right. It's your free speech. People have fought and died for it. And people are trying to take it away. You're going to let them take them away? I don't. That's why I do this. Anyway, I've rambled on long enough. Look after yourselves. Thanks for being with me. I'm Paz 49. And until the next time, Roger Trout.